I didn't realize it was 3 o'clock. Hi, everybody. 3 o'clock Eastern Time, noon, California time. Lunchtime. Get out the popcorn. Here we go. Well, I wish I had something interesting and fabulous personally to tell you this week, but honestly, it is Groundhog Day. There's nothing going on. Even though other people are out and acting like there's no virus, we're still acting like there's a virus. Are you, Jason, acting like there's a virus? Are you, James?
I just got my second shot yesterday, but I'm still.
Yeah, you got 2 more weeks and then go get the antibody shot. What about you? You're acting like there's a virus. You know why? Because people like us that have the shot and are being responsible have to be so careful because of the Looney Tunes that are out there running around spreading them, the super spreaders that are not taking any precautions whatsoever.
Did you see they had the mask burning event in West Palm Beach or Fort Lauderdale? Yeah.
They had a mask burning event.
Like when they burned the disco albums at the stadium in Chicago.
Or the bras or the flags or, these Looney Tunes. If you don't want the mask, wash them or sterilize them and ship them off to some country that's desperate for them, burning them. What kind of an example does I just, this town, it's Florida. It's crazy.
Sunny place for shady people.
That's what they say, but it is really kind of a third world country that's been modernized and is very cash flow productive. But the way people do things and live here, it's kind of crazy, I mean,
yeah,
we
it's
don't
ridiculous.
act like it's not upper crust British. Let's put it that way. Anyway, so RJ's birthday's coming up this week.
I know everybody's is in the next week.
So I'm going to let
Yours was this week, right?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? His was yesterday.
You're in Aries too.
Mine's next Thursday. His is.
Oh, yours is next Thursday?
Everybody's is this month.
Yeah, nobody bothered to find out Raymond's birthday, Jason. What an irresponsible thing for somebody of your stature to do. When your staff has to tell you it's their birthday, it's like, don't you know I'm here? Pay attention to me. Anyway, so then.
It's kind of weird you've got us all in the same week.
But that's kind of scary.
We're all bunched in there.
But also, last year RJ didn't have a birthday party either.
Yeah, well, we were all in
we
quarantine.
took a cake outside, and the landscapers happened to be there last year. I think they come on a Wednesday or Thursday. So I just gave them all. We pre-cut the cakes and had the muffins. They were pre-cut and everything, and we just did it outside in the yard. And they were away on one end, and R2 and Fredo were on the other end, and then Tico stopped by, and that was it. So this year I'm going to have like this little dinner outside of this cafe down the street. It's going to be 4 kids. They're going to be socially distanced, and they're just going to order off the menu, and that's it. I mean, you can't do anything. He doesn't even care. Honestly, RJ could care less about stuff like that. It's like, oh, whatever, Mom. I wasn't even going to do anything. I'm like, well, I'm doing something for you.
Yeah, so, next year's the big one.
Yeah. This year it'll be 20. Next year it'll be 21. Oh my God, I won't have any control then. I'll be in college.
Buckle up.
I'm having nervous right now. So I thought I would share with you all my Dan Deutsch glasses. Okay, so I got these when I was in LA. Do you like them?
Oh, those are cute. I like those. Yeah.
I didn't have anything else to do. The guy opened the store just for RJ because RJ's glasses were broken and he needed a new pair. So of course, while I was there, I was like, well. And then RJ and Roy gave me these for Christmas, which at first I thought, those don't look like me. But then you know what? I wear them. They're very comfortable. You can see very good out of them. And they're good for running around in the day in the car. And then Dan Dutch gave me these for Christmas, which I've gotten a million compliments on.
Oh yeah, those were the ones you had on in the picture with Jeff.
Oh, aren't they fabulous?
Yes, they are. They're wonderful.
And then I bought these. I bought these with Jason in mind. Jason likes Gucci, don't you, Jason?
Some of this stuff.
Oh, I thought you liked Gucci. It's Tom Ford.
I'm going off now.
Who are you?
No, he's Saint Laurent.
Saint Laurent. Oh my God, labels and what are you gonna laugh?
They look good.
What do you think? Are they fabulous?
Oh my God, they match your mirror.
Oh, I think they're just so crazy fabulous. Well, where am I going to wear them? I don't go anywhere. I'm going to wear them to the dollar store.
I mean, seriously, I'm the same way. Listen, my dry cleaner literally called me last week and was like, "Are you okay? We haven't heard from you for about 4 weeks."
For 2 years.
She's like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah, we just do laundry now. We don't need any dry
I
cleaning.
was like,
No
"Are you
one's
going to be
dressing up.
dry cleaning my sweatpants?" And
So there's that. What happened to the one pair I laid? Oh, here they are. So that anyway, so that's really my big expenditure for the last year and a half. I bought a pair, Roy bought a pair, a guy gave me a pair, and I bought the second pair. Okay, so there's that. So in news, so apparently, I don't know why this bugs me so much.
Speaking of Gucci, did you see that article I sent you, or is that in your
Which
thing today
one?
about they've been dropped from Neiman's?
Oh yeah, because they didn't have enough inventory, I guess.
They
right?
didn't pay Neiman's didn't pay their bills.
Neiman's didn't pay the bills.
And so they have removed them from the
I didn't even know
website,
they were in Gucci.
and they're
Don't
only in
remember them.
6 stores now, apparently.
Well, they're better off. I'm telling you, they're looking for excuses to get out of Neiman's. And the reason
Yes, they all are.
Neiman's can put things on sale and they can't. So they're going to be looking for reasons to get out of it. So I guess when they went into the Chapter 11 bankruptcy and they reorganized, they didn't pay their bill on time. So let me tell you, in Beverly Hills, if you drive down Rodeo Drive, there is a line a block long to get in Gucci.
Yeah.
Now, even before COVID, it was like that.
Yeah, it's the #1 brand with millennials.
And I don't get it. I think it's just, I mean, there are some people that just wear way too much of it and too crazy, whatever. So anyway, so Jeff Bezos made $3.9 billion in one day last week. $3.9 billion. So that's 122 times more than the average warehouse worker. Oh my God. How have you made $3.9 billion in one day? Wouldn't you be like, I'd be getting everybody masks, I'd be helping get more shots out there, I'd be doing something with the climate, I'd be going to these poor countries and putting in some kind of irrigation system and showing them how to grow some plants. There's so many things you could do with that money. What is he going to do with all that money? He just sits on it. I don't get it. He bought that big, huge house. I don't begrudge anybody buying whatever they want with their money, but you can't spend it all. You cannot spend that much money. I could, but most people couldn't. Okay, so now.
Give me an hour in Versace.
God, I don't know. So Walmart had a disgruntled employee. Did you read this one? 32 years old. So she just got in her car and just drove through the store when no one was there. Fortunately, no one was there. No one was hurt. Just drove through the store and did as much damage as she could. Would you explain to me how that helps her cause of being disgruntled? It just shows why you were let go of in the first place. If you've got that kind of temperament, then maybe you should be working here. Mm-hmm. Kind of like the woman that thought the taser was a gun. If you don't know the difference between a taser and a gun, maybe you shouldn't be a cop. I mean, I don't know. Then this Picasso, a portrait, Young Lover. Are you familiar with that one, Jason? He's a big art.
Yes, actually. I do.
Yeah. Did you know how much it sold for?
I remember correctly, isn't it 75?
$55 million. You know, I just soon go down to the streets where they have those street artists and you take a picture and say, can you make me a copy of this for like $50? Yeah. I mean, it is fabulous, but you have to have a lot of money to $55 million.
Well, did you see, like, now there's all this digital art that's online with the what is it called? The non-something token? I meant to
tell you about that.
Somebody bought like a picture of a cat yesterday. They were showing it on Ellen. They paid $12 million for it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's crazy.
I meant to show you that. That guy that brought Miss Bravo on Twitter that came here with the portrait of me and everything, he suggested that you do that digital art in the background of, you know, of the podcast.
Yeah,
so if
we could get a green screen in here.
We do have a green screen at home.
That's what you have to have.
But who's going to do that? Oh, but it sounds like a good idea. What would we put on there? Diamonds and pearls? That's what I'd put. Oh, I'm wearing my pearls in honor of the Queen, but she's going to be wearing her pearls to the funeral Saturday. And so then, anyway, when you buy a piece of art like that, then you have to pay the insurance. insurance and you have to protect it, then you know it's a big responsibility, whatever. So now, NewYorkDailyNews.com came out with an article about how to be more healthy. So listen what you're supposed to have. More sleep. There's no one that gets more sleep than me. More lean protein. The only protein I would eat is lean. It's rare. More stretching. Could do more of that. More outdoors. Could do more of that. Less sitting and less clutter. I'm in with that clutter thing. The office is giving me anxiety. There's something everywhere I look. The Saudi prince paid $450 million. Are you listening to this one, Jason? Jason likes the art thing. He paid $450 million for a fake Leonardo da Vinci. And then he pressed the French to lie about it so that he wouldn't be embarrassed. It's coming in an upcoming documentary. So his pride is more valuable to him than the fact that he lost $450 million. Of course, except when you dismember Khashoggi and then you don't really care.
Okay, once you've chopped someone up, it really doesn't matter.
Once you dismember somebody and bury their bones in the courtyard, I don't know why you got so much pride. So then there was
I think the fake art is like the least of your worries
that's the
at
least
that
of
point.
his problem. Jason, here's a message from Frank if you want to read. Oh, you got it? Okay. So then on top of that, did you guys see in Thailand that lizard climbing
The monitor lizard, yes.
It's a water lizard. It was, I forgot how big was it? It was like 10 feet long or something.
It's at least 10 feet long.
And it was climbing the stairs and pulling all the stuff off, I guess looking for food. And people in the store were just screaming and taking videos of it. Imagine you walk in a store, there's a minimum of 10-foot lizard climbing up the stairs, throwing food off and I guess they're looking for food. I don't know. They must be hungry. I don't know.
I was watching that video again yesterday, and because it's been on everything, and I thought it was kind of funny because it acted like it was going, like it wanted to go towards something in that vent.
Because
there was food and box stuff there, and it wasn't interested in that.
Maybe there was something up there.
There was something.
Listen, if that guy from Hermes was there, he'd have shot that damn thing and made some belts out of it. That's what I was thinking. Like, how many handbags you can make out of that lizard?
No, all I saw were shoes.
Whatever.
Did you see those shoes crawling up the counter?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe that's what he was mad at. Someone killed his relative and turned it into a pair of shoes, and he's like, I'm getting those shoes back. Okay, so now without getting political yet, that damn DeJoy needs to be fired.
Yeah.
Has anybody's mail gotten any slower?
Oh, it's horrible. It's a mess.
It's unbelievable.
I'm only getting it like 2 days a week now.
And how is he getting away with this? Now he wants to increase the price of the postage. He's already delaying the postage. He's trying to convert as much of that postage business as he can to his own private enterprise business. He confiscated all those mailboxes before the election. And I mean, why is this guy still sitting there running the post office?
It's really bad. And if you remember, I had something we had ordered to get an example of something, and that was back in February. I got it last week.
Yeah.
It was sent today, priority.
I believe it.
And I had to fill out a case on it. They did finally find it. They sent me a survey afterwards, which was kind of unusual, but it was a long questionnaire about like the experience and how long it had taken and maybe they're trying to figure it out now.
So meanwhile, I personally can't deal with the post office anymore.
Either.
But people are now saying their checks are coming in late, their bills are getting paid late, it's going to go against their credit. I mean, come on.
My neighbor's medication, sometimes it doesn't come in for like a couple weeks when it's supposed to be there.
So Spirit Airlines the stewardess got kicked off the plane. Did you see what happened? There was a 2-year-old on there eating her cereal with her hands or crunchies or whatever. And the stewardess went up and said she has to have her mask on or we can't take off. And the whole plane is like, come on, lady, let it be. It's a 2-year-old. She's hungry. She's eating. They wound up stopping, not getting off the plane. They were going to kick the parents off. Long story short, they finally kicked the stewardess off. But then they had to replace the stewardess, another delay. I mean, what is wrong with people? Do people not have any common sense anymore? No one has any common sense.
My dad posts every day about
common
that.
sense.
The death of common sense.
Any common sense anymore. I mean, if you're a stewardess, you use your judgment. Listen, as soon as she finishes eating, I'd really appreciate it if you put the mask on her. In the meantime, if there's any chance chance you can get that mask on or a letter E underneath it, it'd be really helpful. I understand the situation, but you know, of other passengers on the plane, you don't just go, well, if she doesn't put her mask on and quit eating, we're going to kick you off the plane. That's what you call the title in a desk. She's 2 years old. Oh my God. Meanwhile, the Trump campaign has 3% fraud. They have had to refund $120 million because they had people automatically giving the money. If you signed it up, they just charged your account every month, and people started catching on. They've given $120 million in refund. 3% of the credit card fraud for the entire United States came from the Trump campaign. If anybody doesn't get the grift, I don't know what to tell you. So then they moved the the All-Star game to Colorado from Atlanta. So there's still backlash on that, but there's still these voter rights. They're still trying to pass these laws to keep people from voting. I don't know what else to say.
We've got some comments coming in. Kyle Clark says hi and tell RJ happy birthday.
Oh, hi, Kyle.
Michael Riley says you're the best. Greetings from Orlando. He loves the whole team. Gwen Vasarino says you look fab. Great glasses.
Oh.
And they were also talking about the mail and saying it's horrible. It's been delivered.
You need to write your congressman, and you need to tell them you've got to take a stand and get rid of this guy that's ruining the post office. Honestly, I think his idea is to run it in the ground and then make the post office all a private industry.
Yes, that's exactly
well,
what they're
you know
trying to
what?
do.
There are certain things in life that don't need to be profitable. Healthcare, emergency rooms, you know, post office.
Prisons.
I mean, yeah, prisons. That's a big
That's
one.
another one.
That's a horrible one.
Catherine
Don't get me going
also
on that.
wanted to know if that was an original burrito behind you.
Oh, it is. Rita
And it
made
is
that
original.
just for me. Can you believe it?
Yeah, he did.
Oh my God! And this one, what's this? I can't always say his name wrong.
Kefir.
Yeah, Moyer or whatever. Moyal. He's fantastic.
Beautiful,
too.
too.
Both fabulous.
He did one for Cardi B recently.
It's coming like a shrine for me. Well, remember he invited me to go.
Yeah,
to
he
that
invited you to go
Cardi
that-
B thing, and I
yeah,
didn't want to
that's
go. James was mad at me. I just like I don't want to go. It's like I should have gone. I wrote a rap song for her about Trump, and I should have gone and given it to her. Anyway, how to speak to women. I saw this on Instagram. I thought it was just hilarious. So, what you can say that's dangerous is what's for dinner. A safer thing to say is, can I help you with dinner? Can you imagine Roy saying that? The safest thing to say is, where would you like to go for dinner? But ultra safe is, here, have some wine. Okay, then here's another how to speak to women. Are you wearing that? Not good. Safer. You look good in brown. Even more safer. Wow, look at you. And then ultra safe, here, have some wine. Okay, dangerous to say, what are you so worked up about? It's better to say, could we be overreacting? Oh my God, if Roy said, could we be overreacting? I would say, you haven't even seen me in second gear yet. And then the safest thing to say would be to say, here's my paycheck, but ultra safe, have some wine. Dangerous. Should you be eating that? You know that would irritate somebody. Should you be eating that? A safer thing, there's a lot of apples left. The safest thing is, can I get you a piece of chocolate with that? And the most safe thing to say would be, here's some wine. How to speak to women. Okay. What did you do all day? like I didn't do anything. You were at work. The safer thing to say would be, I hope you didn't overdo it today. The safest thing would be say, I've always loved you in that robe. And the safest would be, have some wine. Oh my God, it's funny. People do wear their feelings. Everybody's got their feelings on their sleeves now. Am I kidding you? Everybody. You have to be so politically correct. If you just say one thing, you're canceled, or it's like a big uproar. Can you imagine all the controversy that we kick up over here every day? Okay, the top 10 followed accounts on Twitter. Who do you know who number one is? Do you know who number one is?
I would
Jason?
say, is it Obama?
Obama. Number 2, Justin
Trump.
Bieber.
Oh.
No. Number 2, Justin Bieber. Number 3, Katy Perry. Number 4, Rihanna. Number 5, Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't even know who that is.
He's a soccer player.
Oh, wow. Who knew?
He used to be the face of Original Penguin. That's what I know. Because
yeah, I was
we
gonna
used
say,
to we
yeah,
used to
well.
sponsor him.
Number 6, Donald Trump. However, they say that about 40% of his are bots and fakes. Number 7.
But he doesn't
Taylor-
have an account anymore, does he?
No, he doesn't have an account. Taylor Swift. 8, Lady Gaga. Number 9, Ariana Grande. And 10 is Ellen DeGeneres. Yeah, I wonder who took Trump's place. So that's interesting to see. And number 100,000 to gazillion is Leah. In news, I guess this is where we're talking about the Gucci thing. We already did that. Let's go. Oh, yeah, Gucci talking about them pulling it from Neiman's. They also carry Kering, Saint Laurent, Bottega Vogue, and Valencia. So
It's all that same. It's all the same company.
Their sales are down 30% at
Yeah.
Neiman's out.
Gucci's sales are down worldwide though.
30%, 6%. They're down
versus-
worldwide 6%.
And they dropped-
online 6%, 30% down. Yeah.
And I think when I was reading, I keep track of like the top brands in the world and things like that. And Gucci fell like a huge amount, like
Yeah, I
like
saw
10
that.
places, which is like a jump for
Why
that.
is this guy
but-
texting me? This should be interesting.
I don't know, but I can do our little
What?
break while you're looking at that. We're going to take our 5-second commercial break.
Let's get you to say, but I'm hoping you're okay. But I guess you own a witch that
And we are back.
Oh my God, that's funny. Somebody asking me if I know a witch that can protect people. Do we know a witch that protects people? We should know somebody in Miami. They're doing Santeria all the time out on the streets, chopping those birds down. So are you guys watching the Floyd, the trial, the Chauvin trial?
I have been a little bit when I've been at home.
Well, the pulmonologist is saying that Floyd died from low oxygen because of the weight on his body, and he was dead for 3 minutes before they removed the knee. Oh my God, that
But
makes
what happened
me
with the other
so
one? Like when they
upset.
started the
Oh.
prosecution yesterday and they pulled up their witness
The
and
defense.
the
The
defense.
defense
I'm
pulled
sorry,
up their
yeah,
witness.
and he said this exact opposite, which
Yeah,
I thought
well,
was weird.
of course, he's blaming it on the fentanyl. But here's the question. There's only one question.
Right.
Would Chauvin have walked out of there, driven out of there, gone out of there in handcuffs, gone out of there in any form or fashion if those cops wouldn't have held him on the ground for almost 10 minutes with all their body weight on there? He would have gone home that day.
Yeah.
So that's the only question.
Well, I don't know how anybody can watch the video and not think that guy.
Well, I mean, listen, maybe he had fentanyl, maybe he had drugs, maybe he had a heart condition, maybe he had this, maybe that. But he didn't die from any of that. He died because he squeezed every last breath out of him. There's just no way around it. They're just looking for that one holdout on the juror. Oh, God, I would never want to be on trial like that. You would need a lot of security, I'll just put it that way. So the funeral for Prince Philip is this weekend on Saturday. Apparently, the UK has been complaining he's been getting too much press. The US is eating it up, and they're going to film it. So here were some of the comments. Prince Edward. You never hear from Prince Edward. You forget they have 4 kids. You only hear about Princess Anne, Prince Andrew, and you don't even hear from Edward. Charles. That's who you hear from. So Prince Edward said, "I feel very sorry and supportive of my mother, who's feeling it probably more than everybody else." Andrew told journalists Sunday outside the Royal Windsor Castle, where his brother, he and Edward were attending church. Yeah, see, I don't even remember Edward anymore. He was 99 years old. He died at Windsor Castle. The Queen described it to her son as having a huge void in her life. Said Andrew, the third couple of 4 children. We've lost almost a grandfather of the nation. So he was a classy looking guy. I'm telling you, he really stood up straight, shoulders back. He acted royal. Prince Anne, the only daughter, thanked the public for the messages and memories of so many people whose lives her father's touched. You know it's going to happen, but you're never really ready, Anne said at 70 years old. In a statement shared by the palace, "My father has been my teacher, my supporter, my critic, and mostly it is his example of a life well lived and service freely given that I most want to emulate. His ability to treat every person as an individual in their own right with their own skills comes through the organizations which he was involved. We will miss him, but he leaves a legacy which can inspire us all." That was Prince Anne. And then Edward, the one we hardly ever hear from, said that it was a dreadful shock on Sunday, but that his mother was bearing up. Prince Charles said in a video recorded statement, He was deeply grateful for the outpouring of support. And he said, my dear Papa was a very special person who I think above all else would have been amazed by the reaction and the touching things that have been said about him, Charles said. And from that point of view, my family and I are deeply grateful for all of that. It will sustain us in a particular loss at this particular sad time. Then leave it to Harry to steal the show. My grandfather was a man of service, honor, and great humor. He was authentically himself with a serious, sharp wit and could hold the attention of any room due to his charm. He also, because you never knew what he might say next, the Duke of Sussex said in a statement he shared with Huffington Post. He will be remembered as the longest reigning consort to the monarch, a decorated serviceman, a prince, and a duke. But to me, like many of you have lost loved ones or a grandparent over the pain of this last year, he was my grandpa, the master of barbecue, the legend of banter, and a cheeky right until the end. See, Harry knows how to talk. Harry is like, he's got the personality that the others don't have. Mm-hmm. So now, he went over there. He's already there. He had to sequester for 5 or 6 days and take the COVID test.
Oh, yes. For 14 days, but he's allowed to come out for the funeral. Yeah, but he took the test, and then he's staying with Princess Beatrice, I think now. He was staying in there. He was staying by himself in the home that he and Meghan had, and now he's in with Princess Beatrice, apparently. And the funeral is on the 17th, which is Saturday. They're only allowed 30 guests. It's going to be at St. George Chapel on live TV, but because of COVID, even Boris Johnson, who's the most crass person in the world, can you imagine him amongst the royals? He's giving up his seat for a family member. So there's that. In celebrity news, Will Smith is moving his movie, The Emancipation, from Atlanta in support of disagreeing with the voting laws. Good.
Yeah. So, oh my God, this is so hilarious. Okay, in the Housewives news, in addition to the fact that it was rumored that one of the Dallas housewives had COVID during the reunion, that's a rumor.
Oh, actually, it is going to play out. And one of the team members of Bravo on his Instagram account, he said, I can say without reservation, you will see something happen at this reunion that you have never seen happen before.
Well, let's see what it's going to be. Yeah. But one of them apparently had the COVID.
So apparently, it was Cameron, or not Cameron, but it was the other one with the blonde hair. And she said that she was that she tested negative when they got on the plane, positive when they got off, and then they put her in a room and she had to Zoom.
Well, sorry. So, all right.
That'll be funny if it was.
This is hilarious.
And one of the other girls didn't show up at all.
Oh, really? So this Miss World competition. The 2019 winner of the Miss World competition and one other person were reportedly arrested Sunday after ripping off the crown of the head of the 2021 Mrs. Sri Lanka winner and declaring that she was not eligible for the prize, injuring her in the process. They ripped that damn crown off her head.
She ripped her head.
They said she wasn't eligible because apparently she had been married before.
Yeah.
Sri Lankan police spokesman told the BBC that Caroline Jury was the 2019 reigning Miss World winner and was arrested along with another model over the incident, which occurred on stage as the Miss Sri Lanka winner was being announced.
Yeah, it happened.
The police arrested Caroline Jury and model Chula whatever over Sunday's incident on charges of simple hurt and criminal abuse, the police spokesman told the BBC. According to the BBC, Jury forcibly removed the crown from De Silva and Miss Sri Lanka while declaring the round must go to the winner-up due to the fact that Sylvia's alleged status as a divorce who had been banned from winning the title under local news. There is a rule that prevents women who have already been married and are divorced, so I'm taking steps to make sure the crown goes to second place, she says. And she says she took the crown off her head. And then De Silva, Miss Sri Lanka, leaves the stage in tears, according to the news service, but later had her crown returned after event organized confirmed that she was in fact married. We are so disappointed. It was a disgrace how Caroline Jury, the one that won the year before, can you imagine that woman won the year before Miss World? How embarrassing.
And this morning I read something about that woman, though, ended up giving the crown back. like that something happened. There's still a piece to
Well,
that we haven't even heard yet. So.
Nobody cares. You know what
But it's
this is?
hilarious.
This is like Donald Trump running in and wrestling the presidency. You didn't win, and I won it. It's mine. When they're trying to swear Biden in, he grabs the Bible. He goes, "It's my Bible. Swear
I was
me
like,
in."
where was Steve Harvey
my
during all this? Wasn't he?
God.
Remember when he announced the
Yeah.
wrong winner?
Oh my God. In other stupid news, this woman has not cut her nails since 1990
Oh my God.
from Texas. She had the longest nails. She finally cut them in Houston. She's from Houston, Ariana Williams, and they were 19 feet long in 2017. It took 2 bottles of polish and 20 hours to manicure. When she finally cut them, they were 24 feet 7 inches, and it took 3 to 4 bottles and several days to polish them. How nasty
It's
is that?
so gross.
That is
Like,
so
how
gross.
could she do anything to take care of
Did
herself
she have
or proper
a butler,
hygiene?
like cleaning them underneath all day, every day, and polishing them? And how did she comb her hair? And how do you put your clothes on? And oh my God.
How do you wipe your ass?
Oh, stop! Oh, God. I mean, come on. That's too gross. Oh, so there's that. And then another kid, and then the 20-year-old kid was killed by another cop that didn't know the difference between a taser and a gun. I mean, how do you explain that?
They
can't.
just
I
brought
just
charges
can't.
against her.
Yeah, this morning.
Second-degree
Second
murder.
degree. Yeah, that's up to 10 years 10 years in prison. But they can up the charges or they can lower the charges. They just wanted to get her charged to settle down the crowd, I'm sure. And then the other cop sprayed the military guy in the car. The guy says, "I'm an active duty lieutenant in the U.S. Army," and the guy get out of the acted like what a
Horrible.
jerk
That
he
video
acted.
is horrible. I mean, and the guy has filed a suit, a huge
Yeah,
lawsuit.
they fired the cop. They should have him. This
I
guy's
hope the
not
guy gets
suited
everything.
to be. He's not suited to be a police officer. I'm sorry.
And the guy that they were spraying, like, he was so calm and
Yeah.
reserved and so cool.
He was going, let's try to calm down. Let's, everything's fine. No, the guy was getting out of the car, spraying him with I mean, people are crazy. The world's on edge, I'm telling you. So now gun violence is out of control again. So they made a nominee, the first in many years, for the AFT, arms, fire, and whatever. So for the first time in years, they're going to have someone in charge of that department, and they're going to try to do things. So by executive order, which by the way is popular among 70% of them, even Republicans are for it. President Biden called on Congress to act a number of gun reforms, including ban assault weapons. Remember, Bill Clinton got the assault ban weapon passed in Congress for 10 years. The Republicans were running Congress and they let it expire. During that 10 years, there were no assault ban weapon deaths. Since then, there's hundreds a year. The schools, the churches, the everything. So they need to reenact that. Why does anybody need an assault ban? Does anybody need an assault weapon, a machine gun, to protect? I mean, come on, that is just a sport. And I'm sure there are a lot of people that enjoy going out and shooting targets with it. But you can't have it because it gets in the hands of the wrong people and then people die. I mean, it's stupid. Did you see when Ted Cruz was running for Congress? He got that assault weapon and he wrapped the bacon around the, the barrel of it, and then and then he took that bacon and fried. It was so hot and so fast it fried the bacon. Then he pulled the bacon off and ate it on the ad, and he was just bragging about the assault bans. I mean, the guy's an idiot. Forget this. Oh my God. Oh God. Anyway, so then he asked to eliminate gun manufacturer immunity. I don't know exactly how. I just have to see the language, but I think what they're saying is right now, you have complete immunity if you make guns that are not safe or sell guns that are not safe. And they're trying to have the people that make and sell the guns have some liability if they make the guns incorrectly or they malfunction or they sell them to the wrong people. Require background checks for guns bought at gun shows. That's the damnedest thing. Even when you go to the jewelry show and you buy jewelry on the spot, they escort you to the car, or they ask you if you want to have Brinks send it, or they ask you ask if you can put that on your rider until you get home and put it in the safe. You can go in a gun show, just, here's my credit card, I'll take 2 of those. And take no classes, no lessons, no instruction. To scuba dive, you have to take lessons. To drive, you have to take lessons. You know, to run video equipment, you have to take lessons. Everything in life, you have a learning thing that you have to go through. And then with guns, you can just go buy them and have them. You don't have to do anything, you just buy them. Not even know how to use them. I mean, when we were in Texas, I made RJ take the class 3 times on gun safety, only because I just wanted him to be familiar with a gun and how to use it safely. And we don't own any. I don't want to own any, but I have 4 dogs and full-time cameras and security and electric fencing and everything else. But I just think, you know, you need to be responsible. And if he wanted to go to the gun range, you've got to take 3 or 4 lessons just to shoot at a target. Mm-hmm. I can't even understand it. They want to close this Charlton loophole. And I'm not exactly sure what the Charleston loophole is, but if you remember in Charleston, that's where they slaughtered, oh my God, those kids. And they want to reauthorize the Violence Against Women Act, which Biden was the one that got that passed in the first place. So that's what he's up to. In COVID news, 46% of adults have had their first shot. All adults are now eligible. This woman, I like this too. This woman named Deborah Hunter is serving 1 month in jail for coughing on a woman who recorded her maskless tantrum in Jacksonville. It had to be Florida. So this woman's having a tantrum for not wearing a mask and having a tantrum, right? And this woman gets into it with her and goes over and coughs on her, and the judge gave her a month. And then when she went up to the judge to plead her case, she talked about her children and how people are making fun of them at school and how embarrassed it was, and it was just a bad moment for her. She never once said anything about, I'm sorry that I could have contaminated you or killed you. I mean, it's a lethal weapon, COVID.
And the person was a cancer patient.
Yeah.
It
could be a lethal weapon. It's just unbelievable. And the judge just said you showed no remorse. You didn't mention the victim one time. You're only worried about yourself, your reputation, your children. I mean, come on. I'm glad she put her in jail. I think if you cough on somebody, remember that bus driver in New York? They died from someone coughing on them, and they coughed on him on purpose. They should find that person and put him in jail for murder. So she was angered. That happened at a Pier 1. Can you believe that? First she gave her 2 middle fingers and then went over and coughed on her. All the woman was doing is saying, you're supposed to be wearing a mask. You're inside Pier 1. I can't with people.
Grab 2 rattan wicker chairs and a cushion and tell them to get out.
4.6 million vaccine doses were given in a 24-hour period last Saturday and 6 million the Saturday before. The scientists that work at Pfizer and Moderna, this woman has been working at that lab. She was making $60,000 a year her entire adult life. That's the most she ever made. She is the one that made it possible for Pfizer and Moderna to have the documentation, the data, the research in order for them to create their vaccines from. She made $60,000 a year her entire life. Dr. Fauci said she was a very positive woman and was obsessed with curing. So I think they should give this woman a huge amount of money, a Nobel Peace Prize, and everything else, a statue in her honor. I mean, can you imagine? You're just like a little employee amongst thousands of big famous doctors and scientists, and you're just a scientist, you know, and doing your little work in your little corner, making your $60,000 a year, trying to help people, and you develop the drug or the possibility for the Pfizer and Moderna drug. I mean, come on, give her something.
Just like those women from NASA, the Hidden Figures.
Yes, that was such a brilliant show. I love that
great
show
movie.
So much. And that woman, before she died at over 100 years old, Obama did give her a Nobel Peace Prize or something.
He gave her the Presidential Medal of Honor.
Presidential Medal of Honor, yeah. A third of the patients that have had COVID are reporting anxiety, psychiatric disorder, brain fog, and scarred lungs, and or one of these things. So this is why, I mean, and now Moderna's coming up with a booster shot that they're going to have hopefully within the end of the year.
Yesterday, the report came out about the Moderna shot. So 6 months in, it's still almost 95% effective against
after 6 months.
After 6
yeah,
months,
but that's all the data they have. It could go on and on and on.
And it may, and next month it'll be 7 months because it's just been 6 months since they've been giving it out.
I think it's great that they're already working on the booster.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I had Moderna and I didn't have any reaction. Like I'm now right now it's 48 hours, so I have a little sore arm. That's it.
Everybody has a little something, but listen, it's not as bad as the virus. So I forgot to mention in the gun news that just in the last week,
They had a record
the
number.
17-year-old from Lancaster Senior High football fatally shot people, and it was fatally shot in his room. The 12-year-old boy was shot walking down the street in Brooklyn on a Saturday night, and he's fighting to survive right now. Just walking down, they don't know if it was targeted, he was caught in the crossfire. A sixth victim died of the South Carolina shooting, a doctor, his wife, and the two young grandchildren, and two other people. 316 people a day are shot in America. And in Bryan, Texas, they had another one. They killed one and injured four at a production plant. And then remember the cops said that, Brianna that was accidentally shot while she was sleeping in her bed. And then that Botham Jean was accidentally shot in Dallas in his apartment. And then yesterday or 2 days ago, Deontay Wright was 20 years old, accidentally shot because the cop thought she had a taser instead of a gun. I mean, we are the only country, we have to be the laughingstock of the world between the guns and the COVID and the homeless people.
The gun situation I read yesterday as well too, that more people applied for gun license.
Of course.
In the last 4 weeks than
why?
ever.
You know why? Because they think they're going to tighten up the laws. So now everybody's going to go out and get a gun. So before we get into the politics stuff, here's a quote I saw that I liked. Some people could be given an entire field of roses and only see the thorns in it. Others could be given a single weed and only see the wildflower in it. Perception is a key component to gratitude, and gratitude is a key component to joy. I thought that was a good one. So, in local political news, who's following the Matt Gaetz story?
A little bit.
Well, I'm
mean,
always the one that says you're innocent until proven guilty. So I'm not going to say what he did or didn't do, but all I can say, based on the evidence that's come out so far, where two girls are saying they partied and did their drugs together, there's a cooperating witness against him that they apparently dated the two of them, a 17-year-old, which is alleged, it's not proven yet. The Venmo money that was transferred from his account to the guy that's already been indicted's account,
For
to
school
a doctor
supplies.
guy it's in the cannabis business, and then transferred to two girls or one girl that was like hit her up for what. Based on all the stuff that's unraveling, I think he's got some problems.
Yeah.
And he hired two high-powered lawyers out of New York. I don't think that was really smart.
I just thought it was a little unusual that he had that gas mask when he was walking around.
He's a showman.
Remember when
He's a
when he
showman.
was against everybody wearing masks?
Yeah, he's making
and then he
fun of
put
it.
that on, and I thought, that looks like some gear I've seen before somewhere.
some sex
I wonder
gear.
where he got that. That's exactly what I thought.
He was mocking the mask and showing off,
Yeah.
But
Or it was his gear.
But I don't think it was so. But he was mocking the guests.
I'm sure there's a harness and a whip somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere that went with it. But the point is that he hired two high-powered New York lawyers, and I learned something interesting about lawyering. When you're going to be talking to a Florida jury, you want a lawyer that can relate to Florida jurors. So I'm not so sure how. Maybe they're aw shucks guys, and maybe they'll come in and relate. But sometimes those fancy New York lawyers don't relate to local jurors. Let's see what happens. I don't know. May not even be indicted. But he's like, oh my God, he gave that speech the other day at Doral, Trump's place, empowering women speech, and talking, I'm not going to stop, and they're not coming for me, they're coming for you. Just sounds like Trump Jr.
Yeah.
He tried to get a meeting with Trump, and Trump wouldn't have a meeting with him, by the way.
He tried to get a pardon, too.
Yeah, that was before. Yeah, he tried to get a pardon. He couldn't get the blanket
So
pardon.
when somebody
That's
asks
what
you
we
for a
had.
blanket pardon before any trouble's been announced, that usually is a good sign.
That's a good sign. That's pretty much a consciousness of guilt. So meanwhile, someone tweeted that it came out that the policemen at the insurrection at the Capitol were told not to aggressively go after the protesters. So the question is, who told them to stand down, and who didn't call in backup troops? Backup support. I'm hoping they have a big what do you call it, a big investigation and get to the bottom of that. Because honestly, I just feel like whoever was behind it, I don't care who they are, they have to be punished for that. I mean, they wanted to hang Mike Pence and kill Nancy Pelosi, and they broke all that stuff, and then they had the gas that
They
killed
built the gallows out front and everything.
and the gas that killed that poor cop, that was heartbreaking. And then that other cop's funeral was the other day, where the guy rammed his car into them at the stop. Oh, it's just so awful. I don't know. I want to know who's behind it. I want to know, who was taking those tours. There's just a lot. And after that, 150, even after all that, 150 Republicans have voted not to certify the election. I just can't understand it. And they're using that whole lie to do voter suppression. I don't get it. So last week, American Jobs Plan, they launched an American Jobs Plan. And apparently, they're thinking that if we can get this new HR1 passed, that they can literally create 200 million opportunities. Doesn't mean 200 million people. That's a lot. So why don't the Republicans want this infrastructure plan? I don't understand it, because they were for it when Trump said he wanted to do it, but he never did anything about it. They were for it when Obama wanted to. They were always have been for it, and now they're against it. They don't want Biden to be successful.
Well, I saw some of them talking about it. There's some other stuff in it, though. That's why they're not for it now, because they feel like a lot of the stuff that they consider socialist programs.
Yeah, but that's not it that they're using. Because here's what the point is: if you have small children at home and you can't afford daycare, you can't go get a job. If you have elderly parents at home and you can't afford assisted living for them, you can't go get a job. So the jobs plan is to create opportunities where every working American has the opportunity to work. And then you're also creating jobs for babysitters and people to take care of senior citizens. It's all part of it, it's a holistic approach to wellness.
Yeah, but they don't think holistically.
No, of course
I mean,
they don't.
if you think about it, just think about like abortion laws, unemployment, support through unemployment help and things like that. They don't want you to have, first of all, they don't want you to have an abortion, but then they want you to have the kid and then bring it in the world and then not have a way to support for them.
No,
and then they don't want to give you any plans
healthcare
or health care or anything like that. So that's what I'm saying. They don't look at it from that holistic
they don't.
approach.
They look at it as money grubbing. How much money can I save on my taxes?
Exactly.
So the offshore wind program that Biden put into effect created 9,000 jobs in March, and they're expecting it to create over 1 million within a couple of months.
That would be great.
Then the woman during the insurrection that stole that computer of Nancy Pelosi's, apparently that was a practice run, and now she's out on bail, apparently. Now, why is she out on bail? If you are going in the insurrection and you're stealing a computer and there's evidence that you've told people you wanted to sell it to China, I mean, I'm all for people being innocent until proven guilty, but they have it on video and they have her comments. So, I mean, I don't understand. There needs to be some consistency. It just can't be up to every individual judge. Like this guy over there held a gun to my head and he's on bail, but this woman over here, she sold a computer and she's in jail. I mean, there's no consistency. It just seems to be unfair to me. I don't know. Trump's got lawsuits about the taxes and insurrection, the tape recordings in Georgia, conspiracy threats. And Lindsey Graham's looking at some problems for trying to interfere with the Georgia election too. So I don't know. Let's see what happens. And then in the border, they're blaming Biden for all these people coming across, and there may be some truth to that. People may have been waiting till Trump got out of office in order to come across. But that doesn't mean he's not going to come up with a system that's compassionate and fair and equitable. And apparently his immigration plan allows less people than any of the former immigration plans. But they've got to give him room to breathe. They shut down and took out all the infrastructure and all of every
Everything that was in
Everything
place.
that was in place to handle these people have been gutted. So of course he's stuck with it. But at least you've got to give him a little bit of time. I mean, if they would have left the systems in place, he would have had some systems to put these people into.
But I'm going to tell you right now, he needs to get on that sooner than later because Trump is going to run on that.
Of
You
course,
can better
they already
believe
are. They already are.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, while he's trying to do compassionate immigration, in the last month of Trump's presidency, he put 13 people that had been on death row for years, had them killed off. Some of them hadn't even gotten past their appeal yet. He just couldn't kill them off fast enough. It just shows you the difference in the two people and their, who they are as individuals. I don't know. And now the QAnon thing. When is that going to ever stop? I mean, how are these people believing the QAnon? How do you believe this? I just want to know, how do you believe the QAnon? How do you believe
I don't know.
it?
Have you watched the documentary
No,
that
I
HBO
watched
did?
it.
I just can't watch that. Like, I just can't believe people have fallen victim to that. It's like, but you know what? That just goes to show you the want to believe something is stronger than the actual evidence.
It's not even the want to believe it. Some of them it is, they want to believe it, but some of them are literally, it's like the only thing that's important to them is being part of this kind of group and club, and we're all in it together and we know more than the rest of the world. But I know someone that told me that a friend of her mother is a normal person that does carpooling, and she believes all of it.
Yeah, no,
and
I know some people like that
She tried
too.
to argue with her, and there is no arguing.
No.
They believe it, hook, line, and sinker.
Because they saw a video of it online, and it's these deep fake videos that they have. And listen, the other thing I have to look at, Bill Maher said something that has stuck with me for many weeks. Talking about the QAnon people and talking about the religious aspects. Like, a lot of the people are people that are involved in religion.
A lot of it's religion,
well,
yeah.
they've already made room in their heads for people coming back from the dead, walking on water, and things like, they've made room for that in their head, so there's room for this.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
They already believe someone read in the resurrection, they believe in the rapture, so they believe in these things that there's no evidence for other than what's called faith. So you're right, they have a space in their head that allows this as being
let it to happen. One of the listeners just now said there are some followers that believe Biden is a reptilian wearing a skin mask.
Well, remember that QAnon person was on there with Anderson Cooper, and Anderson Cooper
he said, "You really thought I drank blood?"
Really thought that I was drinking the blood of children? And the QAnon person said, "Yeah, I really believe that." And he goes like, "Dad, do you believe it?" He goes, "No, I really, really did believe it." It's like, oh my God, it's just scary, the stuff that's online. I just don't even want anybody online anymore. I just worry about what they're getting online. I really do. I just can't. And then Tucker Carlson coming out, feeding this whole white supremacy story that these brown and black people are replacing us. That the more of them there are, the less of us they are, and they're replacing us. They're replacing us with jobs and everything. I was like, well, what if they were white and they were coming here? Would they be replacing us then? I mean, they're replacing us because their skin's a different tone. I don't. And then he got a lot of backlash. The Anti-Defamation League called for him to be fired, and he went back on there and doubled down.
Yeah.
And then the Murdochs, and one of them took a stand and disagreed, and the other one just he didn't say anything he shouldn't have said. That's his opinion. Well, he doesn't present it as his opinion. He presents it as fact, and these people are sitting there listening to it as though it's
And that's
fact.
the problem with Fox News.
And that's the problem
You
with
know
Fox
what?
News.
I heard Willie Geist talking this morning. First of all, I didn't know that he used to be a Fox News anchor many years ago.
Yeah.
And you know who they replaced him with?
Tucker.
Tucker.
Oh God.
That's
so
who
Willie,
they
did
had
you
just-
have to leave? Well, apparently, though some people think that Tucker may run for president.
I
one
think
day,
he's gonna try
and-
to, too.
And they think he can get the nomination.
Yeah.
I mean, that's way out there.
I'll tell you something that's another strange thing. You know who Tucker Carlson's dad was? He was also a news reporter,
Yeah.
and he's the person that blew the lid open on that trans person that ran the car company in the 70s for the Triumph.
Yeah.
That all the people,
Yeah.
the documentary on HBO recently,
Oh, I know
that
the
was his
documentary.
father.
Oh, that blew that story
open.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was a sad story. That
Yes,
poor
that
person,
poor person. I
was
felt so
just
sorry for
out
her.
there employing people. What was the name of that documentary? It was really good.
It was called Lady in the Dale.
Yeah, and she was just out for doing jobs and doing good work and employing people and coming up with ideas, and he just destroyed her. I didn't know he was behind that.
Yeah, that was who it
So
was.
meanwhile, the Trump officials celebrated efforts to change the CDC report on the virus emails that were unfavorable to Trump. So what happened is when they had unfavorable data, they changed the emails and lied about it and celebrated how they had duped the American people into believing it. So there's going to hopefully be an investigation into that. I don't know. And now the investigators have seized the laptop of Trump's former CFO's former daughter-in-law. There's going to be a lot of documentation about where that money went. And 2 Oath Keepers, whether they paid taxes on it, and 2 Oath Keepers were providing security for Roger Stone. And Roger Stone apparently was involved with his fingerprints on it in the insurrection. So he's already been pardoned once. He's done a lot of bad things over the years. I've followed him for years. He's got the Nixon tattoo on his back. He wrote all these horrible stories about George H.W. Bush. I could just go on. I read some of those books. And then I can't get my head wrapped around it. I just can't, about all of the things that they're able to get away with on Fox News and on right-wing talk radio, and people are not looking at any facts. It's like, even my father was telling me the other day that his neighbor is one of these right-wing, and you just cannot reason with them. And it's like, oh, you're missing out. You're not getting it. If you're not watching Fox News, they're lying to you. You don't know what's really going on in the world. Oh, you've got to start. And they're like trying to recruit him.
Because all 30
into
other
listening.
outlets are wrong, and they're right.
They're right, and they're trying so hard to recruit him into watching Fox News. I said, you need to say to them, if I watch Fox News for 30 days, will you watch CNN and MSNBC, nothing but that for 30 days, and let's make the deal.
Or even BBC
because
America.
or BBC, or there's a million, but because there is no accountability on Fox News, you know, and it got worse after Roger Ailes, not better. I think it got worse. And now Bill Shine is running a TV network out of Chicago now. They brought him back. They're trotting him out. I don't know. I mean, why? The only thing I can figure, they want America to be white. They want the white rich men to control it. They want to keep as much money and power for themselves as they can. And they think they're here and everybody else is there. Why else would anybody support this mentality? So that group you get, but the average guy that's paying the taxes and doing the work and can't get unemployment benefits and can't get insurance and can't get health care, why are they falling for it all? I'll never understand it. Well, anyway, so we're going to wrap up, everybody.
Just real quick, we are running the podcast offer on the website at leablack.com, and if you use the promo code podcast, you'll get 30% off of all the Sudden Youth and CBD individual products.
Oh, we
Make
don't
sure
wanna
you
miss
check out
that.
the new bath lavender treatments that are really selling well, and we also have our new limited edition home spray that is selling out
that's
as
doing
well.
well, too.
So make sure you get a bottle of that before it's gone.
Yeah, 'cause that's a limited edition.
Yeah, and it is not on promo, by the way. We just want to clarify that because some people were confused, but the skincare products are.
And meanwhile, what was my quote of the week? Do we know? I don't even know.
Yes,
what it was.
actually I do. It was care what others think, you'll behave better.
Oh.
But then I had people come in and say,
I don't care what other
that's
people-
quite the opposite of what your tagline
Yeah,
was.
but
And I
that's
said, well, you lived and learned.
No, that's not what it is. They're both true.
They're both true,
They're
yeah.
both true.
Yeah.
You cannot care what other people think,
Yeah.
and if you mind your manners, you'll get better results than what people think. They're both true.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
But-
Some people just didn't make
Yeah,
the connection,
yeah.
but yeah, no, it was a good one. It
You
was
know,
good.
I don't mind my manners, and I used to care what people think.
All right. Well,
Okay,
thank you
guys,
guys so
tune
much.
in.
We'll
See
see
you
you
next
next
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Now, glutathione is a big word, but it's the body's own master antioxidant. So it's a scavenger for free radicals, for bacteria, and what's relevant now viruses. This is new to the marketplace. There's no other product on the market that has the ingredient NACET.
And basically NACET increases the production of that glutathione that is in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system and keep it strong.
Elevated sense of well-being, supports muscle strength and endurance,
Cognitive function, powerful liver support,
energy, helps blood sugar regulation, superior bioavailability of key ingredients.
One of your best defenses against COVID is a strong immune system. Taking GSH Plus as a daily supplement does all that. And now we have the product out on the marketplace.